Hey there, it's another beautiful day. Pay no attention to all of the nothing behind me, and let's watch some stuff.
Some people do stupid things. Don't do stupid things. You are about to hear my opinion. Do your own research.
All right, so this is a new one. I was going to walk my dog, and I was getting in the elevator, and my neighbor on the same floor was getting off the elevator and said, "Hey, do you have any pictures of those drones?" I was like, "What?" And he goes, "Yeah, do you have any pictures of those drones?" I was like, "Yeah, I got tons of them." "Why?" He goes, "Because my daughter called me last night. There apparently was like a big one over Lake Ann, like a predatory one." I said, "What do you mean predatory?" He said, "A big one." And then the elevator shut. So I'm going to walk to his apartment right now, and I'm either going to get this on camera or I'll tell you what he said. Let's see what happens. Well, they definitely did not want to go on camera, but here's what happened. So apparently their daughter, who lives in Lake Ann, which is about a mile away, and I can show it to you, it's right here. I can see it from my balcony. Basically, their daughter said that there was a large drone that she had to look up, and she said that basically the closest thing it resembled was a Predator drone. And it was flying extremely low, so low that she was afraid that it was going to run into their complex, like their apartment building. And this thing is this is like a complex surrounding a lake in the middle of Reston, Virginia, which is right where I live. And I'm like, yeah, I see these things every night. And then I showed them the post that I just put up that's got like a bunch of views right now of the thing going straight up into the freaking air. And they're like, what the hell? This is like 75-year-old people who were talking to me like, hey, do you have pictures of these drones? Do you have videos of these drones? Because, like, we want answers. We want answers. And we're going to get them. Let's go.
He says he sees them all the time, which makes me wonder, what are they looking for out there? Unless there's just a couple of hobbyists, since that's all the drones are, it's hobbyists, screwing around on the lake.
Did you know the US government once intentionally poisoned alcohol? Sounds like a conspiracy theory, right? But it actually happened. During Prohibition in the 1920s, alcohol was banned, yet millions kept drinking. Bootleggers found a loophole by using industrial alcohol, which was meant for factories. To fight back, the government first added chemicals to make it undrinkable. But when that didn't stop anyone, they went further. In 1926, they started adding deadly poisons like methanol. Yes, the kind that causes blindness, organ failure, and death. That year alone, over 400 people died in New York City from tainted booze. Doctors and activists were outraged, calling it government-sanctioned murder. But officials stood their ground, believing these deaths would scare Americans into sobriety. Spoiler, it didn't. People kept drinking and dying. By the end of Prohibition in 1933, it's estimated over 10,000 people had died from poisoned alcohol. This chilling policy remains one of the darkest and least discussed chapters in American history. So next time someone romanticizes the Roaring Twenties, remember, even the cocktails came with a warning label from the government.
It never ceases to amaze me, the lengths that the government will go to. But poisoning their own people? I guess that's on par for the course though, right?
Did you know the 9-to-5 workday is not as innocent as it seems? All right, this century-old job schedule was born from the noble aims of Henry Ford, who sought fairness in factory work, promoting a balance that increased both morale and productivity. But delve deeper, and you'll uncover whispers of conspiracy theories suggesting the 9-to-5 is a masterstroke of psychological conditioning. Skeptics allege it was crafted not only to prevent labor revolts, but also as a clever stratagem to instill obedience, making employees believe they had control while tethering generations to an unending cycle. The pattern: keep people comfortably busy, limit free time creativity, and hinder social upheaval. And it captivates even more when you ponder its clever design, perfectly timed to fit natural human rhythms, yet crafty enough to leave little room for rebellion or divergent thought. Still, while these narratives swirl, the 9-to-5 persists, both celebrated and questioned, for its unrivaled blend of tradition and productivity. In a world yearning for liberation, does the 9-to-5 truly hold us captive or set us free?
I really wish that 9 to 5 was an actual thing still, because so many companies are open 24 hours and they have 3 8-hour shifts, the 6 to 2, 2 to 10, 10 to 6, or any variation, in between all of those 24 hours that they have to continue working. 9 to 5. Oh my goodness, I could only dream of a 9 to 5.
In 1966, two men, Manuel Pereira de Cruz and Miguel Jose Viano, were found dead on a hill in Niterói, Brazil, wearing raincoats and lead masks. A note read, 1630 be at the specified location. 1830 ingest capsules. After the effect protect metals. Await signal. No capsules were found, and the autopsy was inconclusive. The men, electronics technicians and spiritualists, were fascinated by UFOs. The theory? This wasn't just a failed ritual. It was an attempt to contact extraterrestrial beings. The lead masks shielded them from radiation during alien transmissions. The capsules? Likely hallucinogens to enhance communication. The signal? A response from something beyond comprehension. Did they miscalculate, fall victim to a hoax? Or were they silenced by forces unknown?
I have so many questions. I would love to know what happened before that to lead them to that point. What communications were going on prior to, here, take some pills, put this crap on, and we're going to come get you. That would be a fantastic story. If this actually is a real event and that truly did happen, I would love to know what got them there.
As if we needed further evidence that the American education system is an epic failure. This week, thousands of Americans have taken to social media to post videos in which they are unable to recognize that the sun is the sun. And that's simply because the sun appears to be more red than usual as a result of the other colors in the light spectrum being filtered through smoke. Smoke in the atmosphere that is spread across the eastern United States from Canadian wildfires, something they've been talking about on the news for days now. But that concept of the light spectrum from junior high earth science is just very difficult for American adults to grasp. Far more logical for them to claim that we're not seeing the sun, but rather the planet Nibiru or Nemesis or two suns. Just like they did this time of year in 2023. When I had to make another video explaining that the sun is just the sun, hidden behind the beauty filter of Canadian wildfire smoke. Sleep well, friends, and memento mori.
Yeah, I actually had a clip queued up that was talking about, the sun, look how crazy it looks. And then I came across this guy and I was like, oh, let's put some rationale in there because hello. It's pretty easy to explain. Hey, thanks so much for stopping by today. If you're having a good time, won't you please hit that like button for me? And there's no thing right there anymore. It got packed. So consider subscribing.
Vibration intertwines with the law of attraction, offering us a powerful tool to manifest our desires. To align with what we seek, we must match the frequency of our desires through deliberate practices such as visualization, meditation, and affirmations. Visualization is a technique that allows us to vividly imagine and experience our desired reality. By creating detailed mental images of what we wish to manifest, we engage our senses and emotions, generating a vibrational frequency that aligns with our desires.
No, that wasn't the end of it. I cut it short because there was 2 more minutes of saying, visualize good things happening. Visualize you getting the things that you want. And the reality of it is, if you want something, you gotta do something. Just thinking about it happening isn't gonna make it happen. You gotta do something to make it happen. Get out there and make it happen. Chase what you want, but not in a creepy way, because if it's a person and you're chasing a person, that's not good. That's illegal. Don't do that.
What if the sky above us isn't as empty as it seems? The skytrap theory suggests that the atmosphere is filled with hidden dangers, an invisible network of surveillance and control. Some believe that the seemingly endless sky is actually a massive, global monitoring system designed to track and manipulate humanity. This theory proposes that the clouds, the weather patterns, and even the stars we see at night are part of a vast technological web, created by a shadowy government or extraterrestrial forces to watch us from above. There are claims of strange phenomena, like unusual weather events or unexplained aerial objects, that may be signs of something far more sinister lurking overhead. People report strange occurrences, like losing time or feeling watched when they gaze at the sky, suggesting that the surveillance is more intrusive than we can imagine. What if the skies aren't just natural, but a carefully crafted illusion, hiding a surveillance network that controls and monitors every move we make, while we remain blissfully unaware? What do you think of this theory?
I've never heard that theory before. That is an interesting one. And why would the sky be like a surveillance system when everything's already a surveillance system? We got cameras everywhere that anybody can tap into at a moment's notice or at no notice whatsoever. And we got little chips in our debit cards so that they know everywhere that we go. So it kind of is already happening, except it's not the sky.
I'm just like you. I have heard that there's a cure for disease that's been suppressed. I have cancer. I'm not going to accept the modality of the day. I need to know if there's a cure that's suppressed out there, and I offer a $10,000 reward. Now, I'm in California, right? What do you suppose happened? I had to hire 8 people to man the phones in 2 shifts. I had to get 8 phones in. But one man called me. One man. And he impressed me. And he said, there's not one cure for cancer that's been suppressed, there's been 5. Which one do you want to know about? I said, whatever one works. He sent me to somebody that had an original Rife-Ray unit, and I used it. 3 months later, the cancer was gone. So was my arthritis. And I was so gung-ho on it that I decided that I had to get involved in building Rife machines and get it out there for people and really help them. So I started doing research into the Rife technologies, and I found another man who really knew quite a bit about Rife and had all the frequencies and everything, and I went to see him and paid him a little bit of money, and he became a friend of mine. His name is John Sajeka, and John Sajeka showed me that I wasn't using the Hertz rates to get rid of cancer at all. And that upset me, because I paid good money for this. Now, and why did the cancer leave? And I looked at the Hertz rates that I was using, and lo and behold, there were Hertz rates to get rid of worms and parasites. It turned out that the lead poisoning was giving a bed for parasites to breed in furiously, and it was their waste that had given me cancer. I was absolutely in shock. And the more research I did and the further I got into this, the more I found out that pretty much all disease is caused by worms and parasites.
Now, very clearly, I'm not a doctor, and I'm not giving any kind of medical advice. I don't know how factual this story is. I don't know if he actually had cancer and then he used the Rife machine and it got rid of the cancer. I don't have any proof. If anybody has any proof, please let me know. I'd love to know. But I am pretty sure that there actually are cures for cancer. But they're cheap, and that's the problem, because it makes so much money for Big Pharma to treat people for cancer versus just getting rid of it. And the parasites thing, I remember learning that a good portion of our body is actually parasites. There's a symbiotic relationship going on inside of our body with thousands of different kinds of parasites. Now, I understand the ones in your stomach, like tapeworms and crap like that, that's no bueno. But I don't know which ones may be causing cancer and which ones get gotten rid of with the vibrational thingy. So, because I'm pretty sure that if you get rid of all of your symbiotes, it's actually not good for your body.
Looks like an infrared camera or something like that.
Do you see that? Over there, look, over there. You see that?
What the hell?
Wait, because that was it again, right there. Wait.
I don't like this.
You see that? Right there. Look.
Oh my god. That's not an animal. I don't like it.
Okay, fuck.
Okay, that looked a little fake. But at the same time, no thank you. None for me, thanks.
The most cited picture used as undeniable proof of alien life is a Google Earth image of a UFO located off the coast of Peru near the Nazca Lines. The circle seemingly looks massive and is about 6.8 kilometers in diameter. The image on the Google Earth associated with it shows a significantly clearer image of said UFO. Conspiracy theorists further add to this by stating that the Nazca Lines themselves are substantial proof of alien life. Considering how they're one of the world's biggest archaeological anomalies with no real explanation for their origins, if we were to correlate that, the UFO location being so close to them could be no coincidence. And although mainstream media mostly brush off these claims, no one can deny their peculiarity. And once we consider its location, things become way too real to be considered a coincidence.
All right, let's poke holes in that. So 6.8 kilometers, that's like 2.25 miles. And if that was the image of it, which it couldn't have possibly been, it was under a tree. And the tree is bigger than the thing. And that's not the thing. So we're going to go ahead and call it what it is. Some BS.
Did you know that you are immortal and you don't exist at the exact same time? And physics has already proven this. So we look at our physical bodies in this physical chair and we think we feel it, right? Well, science has proven that every single thing in the known universe is made up of atoms. What are atoms? Well, atoms are basically a nucleus of protons and neutrons at the center. And then in the 99% space around that nucleus are electrons just orbiting around it. Okay, we've known that for a while. So 99% of the atom is physical space, but there's still protons, neutrons, and electrons. Well, we have also discovered that protons and neutrons are broken down into smaller parts called quarks, and electrons are broken down into leptons. Quarks and leptons are basically constantly moving, constantly evolving masses of energy. It is just pure energy, which means that we, made up of atoms, which are made up of protons and neutrons and electrons, which are made up of quarks and leptons, which are made up of pure energy, do not have physical form. We do not exist. This physical form is an illusion. But if you don't exist, then how could you possibly be immortal? Well, thanks to Albert Einstein, we know that energy can never be created nor destroyed. And if you are made up of 100% pure energy, then regardless of when you decide to leave this meat suit and it rots behind you and you assume some other energetic form, because energy cannot be created nor destroyed, it can only be transmuted into something else, you live on in perpetuity. So despite you not existing, you are immortal.
As much as I want to poke holes in that too, I'm not gonna. Did you see that right there? That was me lying, because I'm totally poking holes in this. We're gonna live forever, y'all. Immortality. Yes. No, it's actually the energy that we have, because when you start to pass away, you lose energy by breathing it out, and then there goes your energy, and then it's no longer in your body when you go, because it's gone now.
Breaking news, U.S. Senator Lindsey Graham was caught spending $500,000 for a one night of a hotel stay in Ukraine. While visiting Volodymyr Zelensky one night at a casino hotel, he racked up $500,000 in a night. This meeting was to discuss the U.S. aid package to Ukraine, and to sanction Russia, the bill that is going through Congress right now. If you're wondering how did the Senate approve this trip, well, that's because Mr. Graham here is the chairman of the Senate Judicial Committee, meaning he himself approved it for himself. If you're wondering, in the past he has called out people for these such trips, and while meeting with Zelensky, he gave this fiery speech.
That Ukraine doesn't have good cards. Well, Russia's much bigger and has a lot more people, I get that. But the world has a lot of cards against Russia. And one of those cards that we have is about to be played in the United States Senate. In America, you have more than one person at the card table. We have 3 branches of government.
Should Senator Graham be forced to repay this?
That's insane. $500,000. Politicians are frickin' scum. All of them. Just all of them. There's always something there that's like, hey, I can get an extra little bonus on this, on the people's money. I can't even get a house for that much. I'm like at half of that. Maybe, and that's over the next 30 years, and I gotta work my butt off to get it, and here's this guy just traipsing about all over the place, spending $500,000 of our money. What the actual F? Okay, I was very contrarian today, and I do apologize for that. It's been a rough one, and I just decided I wanted to be negative Nancy or something. I don't know. On that note, I'm going to call it. Thank you so much for sharing your time with me. If you haven't already, please hit that like button and consider subscribing, and then come on back, because we're going to watch some new stuff. I'll say different things. It's going to be fantastic. Until then, have a wonderful day.